Peace, peace, infinite peace to the good family. I hope everybody is doing well. Salute, salute. Excuse the few minutes of delay, right? Only maybe 5 minutes behind, um, as I had to take care of my little arrangements here, but I think I'm all good. Salute to the good family. Infinite peace, infinite blessings, infinite gratitude. I am extending to my good people. I hope everybody is in good spirits on this Sunday. Definitely a quiet, calm Sunday here where I am. Definitely been enjoying the weekend. I hope that you guys have been as well. Blessings. We got a lot to talk about today, you guys. I'm not even going to cap. We have quite a bit to discuss. Hold on, let me take a sip of this water. We definitely have a lot to discuss today, good people. Not even going to hold you. Quite eventful week that we had, okay, since we last convened last Sunday. Quite a bit of tumult and craziness and unexpected turn of events and shocking details have all been events to us, all types of revelations we have had and experienced and seen. And I wanted to tap in as much as possible with my good people, right, on some of these aspects and just try to, I guess, pull some insight forward. That is the best we can do as a conscious collective, as a conscious bunch, as I like to consider us here on this side, right? Lot of processing that I have been doing concerning these boxing streets, the general boxing landscape, and the specific undercurrents that we have been being made privy to concerning the young King Devon and his affairs, right? Let's get into it. Let's get into it. But of course, before we do just that, I like to give my salutations. I like to see who's in the building and give some much, much deserved praises and credence and salutations to my beautiful people, right? So let's see who we got in the building first and foremost this evening. Let's see who we got. Wow, we got the G McCall in the building. Hold on, G. You guys, can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if we are intelligible. Let me know if all is coherent to the good family. I see some people rolling up in here. Put a 9 in the chat. If y'all standing 10 toes with the goddess this Sunday, first of all, and also some 9s in the chat. If you guys can hear me clearly and y'all ready for this work. You feel me? All right, let's continue. Salute to the G McCall in the building. Infinite blessings to you, King. Thank you so much for rolling up on your girl this Sunday. I appreciate you. He says, salute to the Queen, SugarFreeMars. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, big. You already know what it is. Oh my goodness, we got my beautiful sis. Cammy Cam is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. My beautiful sis. She says, my beautiful sis. She got her heart. She got her 9s on deck. Infinite love, infinite light to my beautiful sis. So lovely to see you as always. Thank you, sis. We got the King Stormy B-Man, aka the Sensei. 10 toes on deck this good Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Salute and infinite blessings to the King Stormy. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by. We got my twin, my big stepper, one of my original hitters, my twin, Daryl Anderson. Big stepping in the building this Sunday. He says, salute to the beautiful queen, aka my twin Sugar Free. Salute to the rest of the kings and the queens in the chat. Infinite blessings to my twin Daryl. Lovely to see you. And absolutely, twin, let them know, please. Thank you. Thank you. Because they must have forgot in my Roy Jones voice. All right, get them 9s all the way up, y'all. Salute to my twin in the building. Oh my goodness, talking about big steppers, talking about 10 toes. Is this the comrade himself, the king and the coach of the truth tellers? My number one comrade, Coach Hudson in the building. Infinite light to you, King. I always love to see you in the building. I got that good, you know what I mean? Those good vibes, you know what I'm saying? Fists all the way up in the air when I see my comrade in the building because I already know how he's stepping. Infinite blessings to you, King. Lovely to see you. He says, a salute to the queen of boxing media, my number one comrade, Sugar Free Mars. The queen is about to cook. Listen, I got the apron on and tied tight, King. All right, we got some things to discuss. We really, really do. I'm so glad to have you in the building. Infinite blessings to you always. Oh my goodness, we got my queen, Mama Love. Jaquila Fields is in the building. She says, peace and love, beautiful warrior queen. Thank you so much, Mama Love. Infinite blessings to you. I'm sending you big, big hugs, radiant energy at all times. You already know how I'm stepping with my Mama Love. 10 toes and nothing less. Salute to you, Mama Love. We got the King Jut in the building. Salute to the King Jut. He says, salute to the great warrior queen. Lovely to see you, King Jut. As always, you already know what it is. Sending all of that love, all that heat right back to you, King. Lovely to see you. We got Trauma GTV in the building, ladies and gentlemen. He says, what up, beautiful queen? Infinite blessings to you, King. Lovely to see you, and thank you for stopping by. I definitely appreciate you. Warms my heart to see the good family. All right, I see the good family giving me some nines, giving the salutations like I like to see. Infinite blessings to the King, Snoopy, Dream Team, 10 toes on deck. DHP over everybody, King. You know how we step in. Absolutely. Salute to the King, Snoopy, in the building. Lovely to see you. We got John Martin in the building, big stepping as well this Sunday, good people. He says, salute, beautiful sugar-free Mars, and he gave me a 9. Infinite blessings to the King, John Martin. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. We have the King Dante also coming through the building, ladies and gentlemen. Salute to the King Dante. He says, salute, my sister, sugar-free Mars. Blessings to you, King. Blessings on blessings. All right. Oh, my goodness. The great Mike, ladies and gentlemen. You know I do not play about the great Mike. One of my original hitters is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Salute to you, great Mike. He says, salute, Queen Sugar-Free Mars. Blessings to you, King. Always happy to see the great Mike big stepping in the building. All right, with that King energy always on deck. Salute to the King, Steph in the building. Lone Star Steph, that is. He says, be well this Sunday, Lady Sugar-Free Mars. Thank you so much, King. Lovely to see you. Lovely to have you guys in the building. I see my 9s being thrown up in here. Y'all already know what it is. I'm glad that everything is intelligible for you, that everything is audible. We got the intelligent, savage, big stepping in the building as well. He says, let's go. Let's get it, Queen Sugar-Free Mars. You already know how I'm stepping, King. All right. A lot to discuss. Lovely to see you. I'm glad you pulled up for this cook. I see you got your plate ready. All right, we about to really get into this, y'all. We got some stuff to discuss. Oh my goodness, the King St. Louis Mix, aka the King Uncommon, as I call him, is big stepping this evening. Salute to the King Uncommon. He says, the one and only warrior queen, Sugar-Free Mars. Peace and blessings to you, and peace to the chat. Smash the like button, family. And in true fashion, he definitely reminds me, once again, as he always does, to tell the good family upon you guys entering in to smash the like button. I appreciate that. Definitely hit the like button, you guys. Thank you for that reminder. As always, St. Lou, I appreciate you. Big, big. You already know what it is. Blessings to you. We got Black Jericho in the building as well. Good people. He says, salute, Queen. Blessings. Blessings to you as well. Nice to see you, Jericho. Oh my goodness, the King NBA D Nice is up in here. Salute to the King NBA. He says, salute, Queen. He gave me a heart. I appreciate you, King. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you. We got the 4-ounce sniper in the building. Big stepping. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you, King. Lovely to see you as well. Oh my goodness, the good brother Earl Ferry is in the building. Infinite peace, infinite blessings to the King Earl, who says, salute, Sugar-Free and the chat. Blessings to you, King Earl. Lovely to see you. Oh my goodness, my beautiful sis, the Queen Tay-Tay, brown sugar Tay-Tay that is up in here. Salute to the Queen Tay-Tay. She says, hey, my Leo sis, infinite blessings to the Lioness Tay-Tay in the building, right? Let's see, you guys. Where do I want to begin today, you guys? I really do just feel like there is so much to uncover and so much to divulge that really, in prep for today's discussion, I really did not know how I was going to tackle this. And it's specifically because there is so much to shed light upon. There is so much to really, really, really pull the veil back from, so many layers to pull back in and of itself, that I was like, damn, how am I going to come at this? Like, I'm going to have a motherfucking 6 hour live. You know what I'm saying? With all the stuff that I, wanted to uncover, with all the details and the notes that I had been making since we last convened. So much stuff, has surfaced. And I think that we are all privy to what those things are, right? Because we have been 10 toes and keeping tabs on everything and just sitting back. And some of us been pulling our hair out and throwing chairs and walking out of rooms and cussing people out, and cursing our screens out, our phones out, everything out, right? Seeing all of this inanity just permeating and flooding and inundating these boxing streets, you guys. Some crazy, crazy stuff. But I had to try to pull it in as best I could for the sake of orderliness, and also for the sake of time and everything else that we could, contribute to, wanting to keep things aligned and as succinct as possible. But I definitely think that this is going to be an ongoing conversation, because what we wanted to transpire, or what we wanted to come to a point of finality, from what I've seen and what I've been made privy to earlier on Devin's Twitter page, that finality that we were hoping for has faltered, at least to the degree in the area that we were really, really projecting our energy and our sights, which was on seeing the materialization of the fight with Shakur. But we're going to get into that. Okay. Let me take a sip of this water, you guys, because I know I'm going to be doing a lot. I'm going to be doing the most. I already know. I can feel it. So let me sip this water and take my peppermint now. All right. Let's see where I want to begin, lovely people. Salute to the King Powerhouse. I see you. Blessings. Salute to Earn Jordan. I see you. Blessings. Right? Now let's dive in as best we can, ladies and gentlemen, with the preface. Now, I named today's discussion, right, Scared to Death, because it's, of course, taking off of our discussion last week, which had the same title, right? Scared to Death. But that I put a subtitle or a further elaboration on what I mean for this particular discourse this week, which is that it's scared to death. We are still dealing with the two that are scared to death, but I wanted to incorporate within it not only the dynamic of looking at Shakur Stevenson particularly and ADD Davis particularly, but I wanted to pull in the surrounding boxing landscape into this equation, because it is not only those two gentlemen who we are dealing with here, who are, basking in the realm of fear. It is their teams, of course, the string pullers. It is the media outlets. It is the suits, right? The organizations, the corporations, all operating in tandem within this fear. So that I named today's discussion, Scared to Death, the plot to dissuade from the biggest fight in boxing. That's what I really wanted to hone in on today and highlight as best I can today, because it really is a larger conversation. Us as boxing fans have been fixated, particularly on the players, but we haven't necessarily been, I think, as holistic about the string pullers, those behind the scenes, and the real latent fear that they have of the massive potential that this fight holds, not only as far as dollars and revenue, but the potential that it holds to crown a king, ladies and gentlemen. And as I will divulge with you a little bit later, right, as we get into the source of this cooking, you know what I mean? I wanted to highlight for you in just a bit what these fears are, what these fears may be, and how there is already a notion, already a posture being assumed by these suits, quote unquote, who want to stifle and dissuade from the potential, from the massive generative possibility and stature and meaning and credence of what the fight between Devin and Shakur would mean to the sport as a whole. You understand? So that's kind of what I wanted to unpack today, because I believe that it is a brilliant fight and it's the most beautiful fight. And I'm not exaggerating. There's nothing hyperbolic about this when I say this. But that it is the most beautiful fight for the sport of boxing. Okay, hold on, you guys. Give me 1 second because I forgot to share this to my Twitter. I thought I did, so give me un momento to get my tempo. All right, hold on. Let me see. We got a little brief little pause here, right? We ghetto up in here. That's all right, because I'm with the good family. Let me share this. Let me just simply write pull up, because my Twitter fam, some people who may be on Twitter and may want this work as well. So let me alert the good family over there on Twitter. Okay, nice and quick. Done. All right, good people. So that's pretty much the general basis of what it is that I wanted to not only posit, but to unpack with you and really get your thoughts and your sentiments on this as well. Because I know that I'm, like I always say, I'm dealing with a passionate bunch of people, who feel just as vehement about this good sport that we love as I do. Who else we got? I see some people coming in the building before I begin. Anthony Ingram is in the building. Blessings and salute to you as well. Thank you so much for joining. Oh my goodness, my beautiful sister, aka the Empress. Emma is in the building, brothers and sisters. She says, endless love and peace to the brilliant sister, SugarFreeMars. And she gave me her 9s and her green hearts. Big love to the Empress Emma. Okay, lovely to see you as always, beautiful sis. Thank you so much for gracing the space. I appreciate you. I hope everything is well with you and yours. Okay. We got Mr. T.Y. also in the building. He says, great evening, Miss Sugar Free. Wonderful and blessed evening to you, King. Thank you so much. And my comrade says, say that. Okay. I definitely intend to, King. Now, let's deal with this, because there's some things that I think my good family are already on to. In fact, I know that. I have no doubt about it. But that this is why it's an imperative, that we convene week to week, just so I can touch base with you, so that I can get my confirmations as well, because you guys keep me on my toes too. You know what I'm saying? So I got to present the information and the details that I have been coming across and navigating and dealing with, and say, good family, can you fill me on this? And I know my good family's like, girl, you ain't the only one. You are not tripping. This is what it is. All right. So let's do this. And I just need to speak outrightly, because we don't sugarcoat nothing over here. Okay. I have never, and I think we need to be more blunt. Okay, we don't need to have any level of reticence whatsoever about what it is that we see. Things need to be called for what they are, ladies and gentlemen. I have never, in all of my boxing days, seen anything so spineless as what we have been witnessing and subjected to. Unfortunately, over this past however long it's been, by the shook one, aka E.T. Stevenson, and his lackey, aka errand boy, Keyshawn Davis, ladies and gentlemen. I have never seen anything so spineless, anything so cowardly in all of my boxing days. I got to keep it a buck about that. Now, I have seen a lot of things. I have seen a lot of expressions of inanity of all sorts up and down boxing for as long as I have been, a diehard, a fan, a casual, and everything in between, because I have had every stage, okay, within boxing. This right here, y'all, takes the damn cake. What is this, you guys? And the crazy thing is that, I don't even know if we are fully, as a community, holistically, I mean, right? Not necessarily our space, but just holistically, right? The dynamic within boxing. I'm not even certain that we are fully honing in as a collective on, or honing in on, or giving, the level of significance and weight to this matter that's actually at hand. I'm not sure if we are really grasping and understanding what is at the core of this, of what it is that we are seeing, its significance, the actions that we are seeing, the significance of those actions on the part of Shakur Stevenson, his surrounding team, and the larger media body at work. You get what I'm saying? There are a lot of people up in arms right now, brothers and sisters, and from all sides and for myriad reasons, right? Some of it we consider to be justified, others not so much, right? They have lamentations about, all types of things that we may consider folly. So that, and some people, like us, who have our own lamentations about this, that, or the third. Nonetheless, brothers and sisters, be that what it may, what I don't want to see be missed or forfeited is the extreme attention and awareness that must be placed on seeing the actions of what is transpiring via Shakur Stevenson, the Shook One E.T. Stevenson. We got to really hone in on that expression that we are seeing that he is giving off. Okay? We got to put attention to those moves. We have to look clearly at his timidity, how he is cowering, how he is recoiling, and the timorousness of his position of retreat, because that is what he is doing, ladies and gentlemen. This is an outright retreat. A retreat from warriorship, a retreat from battle, a retreat from manhood, a retreat from legacy, and retreat from the quote unquote bag that he says he wants. The big money quote unquote fights that he is so obsessed with. He is retreating from that too. What is going on? And why is it in any way being looked at as acceptable to any degree or capacity? It's beyond logical to me. Okay? We need to see what is being done, brothers and sisters. We need to see what he is showing of his character. Of his character, brothers and sisters. That's what I am looking at. The core. The thing that is central to the motive, the thing that is the center of the output of his actions, that character. What character is informing his cowardice? Because that's absolutely what we are dealing with, brothers and sisters. A showing and a level of cowardice and spinelessness that is antithetical to everything that he says he wanted to represent, everything that he said he wanted to vouch for and ascertain. The very thing that he said he was on a mission to claim, brothers and sisters. What is this brother doing? What is his team doing? What is the machine doing in support of that cowardice? That's my question. Okay? And so that's why I say there is a plot, brothers and sisters, to dissuade from the biggest fight in boxing, the biggest money fight, the biggest legacy fight. This fight is absolutely paramount to this era, just as all the other greats have had their paramount moments. This is one of them, brothers and sisters. Why are we backtracking? Why are we tiptoeing around? Why is there any level of reticence about its materialization? Is my question, brothers and sisters. You get me? What are we doing? All right? It does not make sense to me. And there should be no outs given for the allowance of this fight being bypassed. All right. What he is showing of his character is timorousness. And that's unacceptable from somebody that we have regarded as worthy, regarded as elite, regarded as Himothy, and so forth, etc. We need to see that for what it is. We need to see that all of this man's previous claims, all of his fluffy words that entailed all types of poetic ramblings of how he is, quote unquote, out for legacy, how he is, quote unquote, the best in the world, better than anyone else, the most skilled, the next Mayweather, the next Sugar Ray, etc., etc., etc. All of that, brothers and sisters, all of that man has stated over the years, as we've seen him attest to over the years, is fucking malarkey. Absolute bullshit. And nothing but a tale that he used to garner him a level of visibility and trust from the public that would support his aim for relevance. That's all it was, brothers and sisters. He wanted to honey you up. So he said the name of the people we love. He threw the name of Mayweather out there. He threw the name of the Rays out there, right? All the good things. Poured the honey over it, and we're like, oh my God, that's so sweet. He's the next up. Look at this boy's potential. All the while, brothers and sisters, he had no intention whatever, according to the actions that we have been witnessing. No intentions whatever on standing on any of the things that he said to prove that he is the next up, to prove that he is the most skilled, to prove that he is the next this, that, or the third. Absolutely diabolically unacceptable. He wanted visibility, brothers and sisters, attention, relevance. However fleeting, however long lasting, he just wanted it for himself. He wanted the eyes. He wanted the engagement. Because, of course, that's how he can bleed out a public who will eagerly anticipate, eagerly await supporting him. They will buy his fights. They will talk about him. They will do this, that, and the third, and he will remain at the center of discourse, which means he will remain at the center of relevance. That is what he cares about, not legacy, brothers and sisters. He used the word around like a cloak and nothing more. It was baseless the entire time. That is my posit. That is what I have pulled in viewing his antics over the past, I want to say, of course, this is a composite that we have met now. Right now, all the spectacle that we are seeing now is but, I think everything is coming to a head at this particular point. But honestly, it is a trait in him that I have been seeing for the past year and a half or two that has finally come to a head, finally culminated in this instance with the young king, right? So that he wanted relevance, brothers and sisters. Okay? That is the only thing that E.T. goddamn Stevenson is and has been interested in. Relevance. Nothing further, nothing less. This man has not an ounce of desire to prove himself, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not be mistaken. Let's not be mistaken. Let's not have the fact that we have been sweet on this man for some time cloud our reality. He don't have an ounce of desire to prove himself to be any of the things that he has deemed to be. He will say words that drip with all types of honey and molasses and sugar and everything sweet. Say all the good things that us hardcore fans and enthusiasts of all shades want to hear and want to support. He will say those things. He has said those things, but he will do nothing. He will do nothing to fecundate or actuate those claims, brothers and sisters, as we have been proven to time and time again. and even more so now with the level of cowardice he has been exemplifying as it pertains to the young king and solidifying the fight with the young king. Just like the boy who cried wolf. Y'all remember that story? The boy who cried wolf? Well, the shook one, E.T. Stevenson, is the boy who cried elite, ladies and gentlemen. Same fucking thing. Subterfuge is all that that is. Okay? Boy who cried elite. And who ultimately got his entire bluff called and exposed by an actual elite. That's what it took, ladies and gentlemen, because all up until this point, we have believed in him. We have believed in those cries of eliteness. Oh, he cried it. Oh, we believe you, Corey. Yes, you're the best. Yes, you got great, crazy footwork. Yes, you're a master boxer. Yes, you're a pure boxer. Yes, your boxing style is reminiscent of this, that, and third person. We had believed him. It took a real elite to call this nigga's entire bluff, ladies and gentlemen. And that isn't the first time that the young king had to do that. He pulled up this nigga's skirt back at 35 with the undisputed offer. His bluff was called then when he rejected the opportunity to fight Devin for undisputed at 35. And here we are 3 years later, ladies and gentlemen, bluff called once again by the same elite warrior. Why he got all that mouth when it come to Tio? Why he had all that mouth and alacrity when it came to Zepeda? Why was he so alacritous about fighting Yoshino when he first got into 35? Right? He's so ready to sign up for fights for everybody else except the most elite young king in the sport. Bluff has been called, brothers and sisters. Whether we have been sweet on Shakur Stevenson or otherwise is of no consequence. His bluff has been called. When that pressure was applied, heavy. Okay? When DHP rolled up and applied that heavy pressure, ladies and gentlemen, E.T. goddamn Stevenson phoned the fuck home. That's what he did, ladies and gentlemen. Now you guys know why I have been calling this man E.T. Stevenson, because when that real pressure's in the building, the nigga's phoning home ASAP. Where's the phone? I'm out of here. Where's the exit? Where's the back door? Let me hide under the bed. Get me away from the smoke. Somebody call me an Uber away from this work. E.T. goddamn Stevenson, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Wants no parts of that work. Nobody up in here can tell me that he did not substantiate and further prove that over the past week, over the past days, as we have been seeing, brothers and sisters. Ain't nobody in their right mind going to be able to see this shit and go, no, he's not scared. He's just, no, he's not worried. He's just, I don't want to hear it. Okay? The boxing fanship, brothers and sisters, us real ones up in the building, we have been holding E.T. Stevenson 1,000% to the fire about all of the inanity concerning the rehydration clauses, my waist is so tight, and the goddamn, catch weights and everything else, the whole nonsense, the whole folly of it, so that we know what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, over the past week, the things that we have witnessed, it's like one assault after the next. That's exactly what it's like, right? We witnessed the young king pull every bit of the rug from underneath this coward Shakur and completely call his bluff in the most devastating of ways, right? And what's crazy is that the young king was totally fine with fighting ADD Davis, brothers and sisters. He had no qualm, no issue whatsoever. He told these niggas, I want both of you. He didn't have no damn issue going after ADD Davis and packing his ass up first. But for whatever reason, brothers and sisters, the shook one, E.T. Stevenson, kept running his goddamn mouth all over Twitter, typing 1,000 goddamn miles an hour on Twitter, nonstop talking. So Devin is like, all right, I see you tweeting, nigga. Fine. If I come down to 144, brothers and sisters, do we have a fight? Let's look at our screens. Let's take a gander at our screen. Okay? If I come to 44, do we have a fight? This man has been going on lamenting, crying, moaning, bewailing, nonstop, justifying. Oh, 144 is the weight. Well, you could just come to 144, right? Such and such fought at 144. You fought at 144 against Ramirez. Why can't you do this? Why come you can't meet me here? Why come you can't come down? Why come your waist ain't small? Why come you trying to tell me that my waist ain't the snatches? Crazy shit. So that Shakur says, here's one of his lamentations that got him to, that got Young King to say, all right, enough of this shit. This is Shakur Stevenson. 144 is fair for two champions in two separate weight classes. Floyd and Canelo made one of the biggest fights ever happen at a catchweight. If y'all seriously wanted the fight, it would be easy to make. Right? So this is a part of his goddamn lamentation, brothers and sisters. So Devin is hearing all this fucking crying, which prompts him to say, if I come to 44, are we fucking fighting or not? Right? And this is Shakur Stevenson's reply, brothers and sisters. Okay? You are not seeing, a mistake on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? You are seeing the yes, a response. Salute to the King Des, I see you. You are seeing a response from Shakur himself, brothers and sisters, agreeing, answering the question in agreeance. Ladies and gentlemen, agreeing. So that the whole world is watching this. All of the boxing world is watching this. This man said yes. He consented to the weight that he has been crying about for a year. Okay? Yes, is what he said. So that he already had his eyes on ADD Davis. He was fine to fight Keyshawn until he doubled back on all that yapping and typing and tweeting that was being done and said, yo, I'm with it. If I come down, you with it? We got the yes. But for whatever reason, brothers and sisters, I don't know, things have turned around. If we want to say, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? A lot of backtracking, a lot of silence ever since this yes we got, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely nasty work. So that the Young King is like, yo, what up? He did all of that. You doing all this tweeting? What's up? Got the yes, and what the fuck? To no avail? Was that to no avail, ladies and gentlemen? So here we see Devin motioning, calling this man's bluff, doubling down by asking if he's serious about 144. Core responds, yes. A few moments later, brothers and sisters, we see Shakur Stevenson saying, oh, make sure you, crown me now. Let me put this on the screen for you. Right? So that after he says yes, fighter of the year me after this. So that now he is tooting his own horn. Yes, I said yes. Look, y'all, I'm not scared. Fighter of the year me after this, because that's what I'm going to be, fighter of the year. I'm going to show y'all how great I am. Keep playing on my name, right? So that now he is gascinating, posturing as if, he is he just won Mr. America or something like that, right? Huffing and puffing, beating his chest to the world. Oh, I said yes, we're going to do this. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be Himothy, so forth and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, what's crazy is that you see all of these, posturing that's happening on your screen here. It took less than 24 hours, brothers and sisters. Less than 24 hours before this man rescinded, sidestepped, and backed away from his own goddamn proclamation, ladies and gentlemen. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Less than 24 hours. All of the air in that man's balloon deflated. No more chest beating. No more nothing. Instead, we worrying about motherfuckers' blessings. We're worried about niggas' blessings. So after all that goddamn posturing, Keyshawn AGD Davis wants some attention, as always, runs to his Twitter, says, oh, you know, my big brother, you know, he done took my fight. We're going to have to spar over this fight, blah, blah, blah. Crying, right? Fake crying, because all of this is a charade, as always. Everything these niggas do is a fucking fake-ass move, publicity stunt, whatever have you, right? And it prompts Shakur to say the following: only gonna move off your blessing, brother. If not, go cook that ninja. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? I'm only gonna move off your blessing. So that all of the posturing of the, oh, fighter of the year me. Yes, I give you my word. Yes, you come down. We have a fight. Fighter of the year me. I'm going to be Himothy. I'm going to show you how great I am. This nigga went from that in less than 24 hours to this. Tucking his goddamn tail. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this man never intended on fighting the young king. Ever. The move was already made by that old slick beard jive turkey that I call Jay Prince. The slick beard jive turkey already put in motion the play, ladies and gentlemen. He already had pulled the necessary strings to safeguard and protect the chastity of E.T. Stevenson. So that all this fucking posturing that this nigga is doing here is fake, pump faking, clout chasing. Clout chasing. Orchestrated by none other than the goddamn jive turkey. Okay? As he is known to do. He's a master at goddamn publicity stunts and clout chasing. Right? Only gonna move off your blessing now, you hear? You give me the blessing, you know what I'm saying? And I'll only go on your word, daddy. You tell me what to do, daddy. Because if you tell me to go forward, that's the only time I'm gonna go forward. This fucking sassy shit that's happening, brothers and sisters. Oh, I'm only gonna move when you say move. You tell me to turn to the right, I turn to the right. You tell me to toot it up, I'll toot it up. Etc. and so forth. Excuse me? What? What is going on here? What is going on here, ladies and gentlemen? Less than 24 hours, this nigga is tucking tails. Already, it took no time at all, ladies and gentlemen. No time at all. Okay? Absolutely insane to me. Now, like I said, there's so much I want to unpack because I got 1,000 things going on in my mind and all types of level of disgust. You know what I mean? In revisiting these things, you know, that we have had to be subjected to over the past week. Okay? Absolutely insane to me. Tucking tails less than 24 hours later. Are we going to talk about this, ladies and gentlemen? Like, is there really going to be some real pressure applied from the boxing community toward this? Are we going to deal with, as a collective, the fact that this man that has long been heralded as one of the most elite young fighters of this era is nothing more than a fucking chump? Are we going to deal with that? Nothing more than a fraud, a coward, a frail punk. Are we going to talk about that bluntly and honestly, ladies and gentlemen? Disregard the sugar you have all over him. Disregard how sweet we have all been about him and over him these past few years. And let's goddamn call a spade a spade. Let's call a diamond and a club out here. Okay? Absolute sucker. Absolute sucker, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody else in boxing would be exempt from this. Would be exempt from that hard truth, brothers and sisters. We know how we seen people that had done way less, shredded, Immediately shredded. This type of duckery, this type of cowardice and spinelessness is absolutely unforgivable. Unbypassable, brothers and sisters. No way that this can be overlooked and allowed to slide. Are we going to speak plainly? Because I certainly am. Okay? When we saw this as diehards, brothers and sisters, this particular thing right here. Hold on. Where did I put it? This, or this, I should say. This agreeance, right? Devin doubling back and saying, yo, it is what it is. 144. Core says yes. When we saw that as diehards, brothers and sisters, I mean, you could almost feel the boxing streets like rumbling out here. Okay. Everybody was like, what? What? He said, yes, we got ourselves a fight. Yes. Yes. Finally. That's all that was going on in the boxing streets. That E.T. Stevenson had agreed, ladies and gentlemen. Something that we thought was going to be an outright impossibility for even as a tweet, let alone as a reality, that man would say yes to Devin, right? And that Devin would have conceded, because we didn't have any foresight about Devin conceding, because he had been so adamant about the 147, right? And Core had been adamant about the rehydration clause at 47 or the catch weight, whatever have you. So the fact that Devin had motioned to make this fight at the 144, right, willing to make that little sacrifice, okay, was enough to have the fucking earth fucking shaking in boxing. Everybody was excited about that. Okay? Yes, I will fight you at 144. The boxing street was set on absolute fire, brothers and sisters. Y'all already know what time it is. Everybody's out here like, bet that. Yes. What? We about to get the fight of the era made? What? Oh, hell yeah. I am all the way with that. You know what I'm saying? And do you know why there was such interest, such excitement and passion and heat around this, brothers and sisters? That is because, like I said, this is the most important legacy fight in boxing. Period. There is no fight in boxing currently that trumps Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson, brothers and sisters. Please do not be dissuaded from that fact. Please do not have people out here trying to inculcate into you a notion antithetical to that, trying to discourage you from your vehemence towards this fight, towards the importance and significance and stature of this fight, brothers and sisters. Us diehards know what it is. It is the most important fight in boxing. It is this fight and this fight alone that will currently solidify and centralize and validate a king, brothers and sisters. Bud Crawford is retired. He done did that. There needs to be a new crowning. There needs to be a new assessment. There needs to be a new stamping of a king, brothers and sisters. And this is the fight that will demarcate that. That will designate the proper title. It is this fight that will give us that. The era to whom it belongs. That's what will be found out when those two men meet in the ring. That is the significance that I posit that this fight holds over all other fights in boxing. The pound for pound king, ladies and gentlemen. And it's especially paramount because this era, as I stated, will be branded. This generation of young fighters will be branded based on who comes out as the victor. They will be given a king. This era will be given a king, and this king will rule the next decade. Essentially, brothers and sisters, the fight between these two men will deem the face of boxing. Okay? That king is going to be named with this fight. Period. That's my stance. That's my posit. All right? Now, there is no reason why, with that being said, brothers and sisters, any impasse whatsoever There is no reason why any blockade whatsoever would be placed in front of this fight's materialization. Let me cook. Let me cook on this, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Because we need to talk. Honestly. Us, the black boxing fanship, the heartbeat and the pressure of this sport. We got to talk about this. We don't need nobody talking for us. We don't need nobody setting up any narratives for us. Because our fighters are the standard. Our fighters are the center of this. And we ain't going to pretend like we don't know that they are. Not even for a second. Not on my watch. So we going to cook. Now, let me repeat that. Let me repeat that. There is no reason why any blockade whatever would be placed or should be placed in front of the making and materialization of this beautiful fight, ladies and gentlemen. No reason why. For the past week, brothers and sisters, we have been perceiving and observing one of the most frail, timid, frangible acts of cowardice that we have seen from both Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn, right? But not only from them, as I had posited in the preface, we have also been seeing this sassy-ass, cowardly-ass mentality be paraded around by their sassy crusaders and sympathizers and the media that supports the dematerialization of the fight, brothers and sisters. It is not simply the players involved, as I had mentioned. I have been hearing excuses as to why the Young King and Shakur Stevenson fight should not happen at all. I have been hearing posits about how the fight should not happen at all, brothers and sisters. Do you get what I'm saying? Did you just hear what I said? People are talking against the fight being made. This beautiful fight, ladies and gentlemen. People are talking about it not happening, how it is not worthy or valuable or entertaining or exciting, etc. and so forth. Can you believe this shit? I'm not sure if many of you have heard that, okay? But it is going around and it's already being pushed by the media circuit, the corporate media circuit, which we will get into in just a moment. Now, I have been hearing all types of shit about marination. Let it marinate. Give it another goddamn 10 years. Give it another damn 7 years. Give it another 11 goddamn years and so forth, etc. 11 years. What the fuck are we talking about marination, motherfucker? We've been marinating these motherfucking fights for nearly a decade. Am I capping it out? As I told the legendary Bill Haney myself a few days ago, we don't need no goddamn marination. That's all this fight has been doing. Real talk, we should have got this fight 4 years ago, 5 years ago, real talk. Right? But in the interest of letting the fight build, right, and us believing that, it was what it was. But real talk, the fight should have really happened at 35 for undisputed. That was the time. But when we dealing with a pussy and a motherfucking coward, right, and a cowardly team, that's what we get. Dematerialization, destabilization. We get non-fruition, which was the ultimate result of that. I'm hearing excuses, oh, let it sit a little bit longer. All types of prolongings, all types of delayings, stallings, all sorts of that shit when it comes to this fight. Why is that? I want the brothers and sisters, when you come across this, if you have not already, I want you to ask, why the prolongings? Why the stallings? Why the reticence towards the biggest fight in boxing? Why? Why is it there? Why is there this timidity about having this fight stand uprightly? Having this fight be materialized? What is the reticence about? Why the hesitation? Ask that. This is absolutely treacherous in every way to me. Such a mentality that will dissuade from its making. And it made me ask a huge question, brothers and sisters, which is one I want you to ask as well. Pose your own query to as well. Is there an attempt being made, a plot being made to hamper, stifle, and dampen the biggest fight in boxing? Ask that for yourselves. I've already asked, and I already know the answer, which is the basis of the evidence I'm presenting to you today and the foundation of our discourse. My answer is yes, brothers and sisters, but you have your own beautiful minds that I charge you to use and intellectualize with on your own accord. Ask yourselves that. Ask it however many times you need to ask whenever you come up across the parlance that's going around looking to dissuade from its fight. When people talking antithetically, standing antithetically to it, ask, well, why do you think this fight shouldn't be made? Is it boring? Are they boring as fighters? Nobody wants to see them fight. Nobody wants to see this. Will it not generate money? Is it because we are talking about two elite Black warriors? Is that why they are trying to already deem this fight invaluable, non-valuable? Ask the question. Ask the question. We didn't hear nobody say Tyson Fury and Usyk was a non-valuable fight, even though nobody was fucking talking about it. Nobody gave a damn that it was the first heavyweight undisputed bout since the old days of Lewis and all those the big hitters up there. Nobody gave a damn. And that still didn't stop people from not calling it unworthy, from not calling it or deeming it to be unsuitable. Nobody called it that. But somehow the most significant fight in boxing is being spoken against, brothers and sisters. Make that make sense. Two young, premier, in their prime, elite Black warriors are being told that they ought to sit down and let the ship sail and let the chips fall where they may. Make that make sense to me, ladies and gentlemen. I was on the panel with the lovely King Champside, my brother, right? 10 toes with my brother at all times. I was on his panel. And the legendary Trill Bill was also on the panel, right? And Chris Mannix, while Trill Bill was sitting there talking to Champside, he just happened to see Chris Mannix, jogging up and down the streets of New York, right? So Bill calls him over. Yo, what's up? What's up, Chris? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to Champside. Roll up. We talking about the Devin and Shakur fight. Let us know your thoughts, Chris. This was on site. This was on site, out of nowhere, randomly, right? But of course, we know nothing is by chance in this life. So that Bill took the opportunity to talk to him and to bring him onto the champ side so that he could posit his thoughts on what he, his sentiments about the fight, brothers and sisters. I happened to be on that panel, thankfully, right? So I got to witness it in real time and so forth and so on. Anywho, Bill is such a sharp shooter, very witty, very savvy man. And he cunningly queried to get Chris Mannix's thoughts on the particular matchup between Core and Young King. Firstly, what I will say is that we already know, brothers and sisters, that Chris Mannix and all of these other people, your goddamn the white boy who used to be a rapper back in the day and now he wanted to goddamn talk boxing, fake ass, vanilla ass, ice ass Kellerman and all of these motherfuckers are mouthpieces for the machine. We know that. Okay, so that is what that is. And in true fashion, good people, Chris Mannix does what any goddamn mouthpiece, any goddamn bot would do, which was to speak completely against the fight being made next, ladies and gentlemen, except that he didn't say it as hard as he ended up saying it in some footage that I came across, which I intend to play with you or play for you in just a moment, but that he spoke dissuadingly from the fight. Oh, I think it should marinate more. I think it's a big fight, but I think that Keyshawn would be bigger. so forth and so on. So that he was giving his little testaments and sharing his little sentiments that he later expressed way, way harshly, way more, unabashedly in another interview, but that he gave us a little glimpse of what his feelings were on the champ side, right? And Bill is like, when it was all said and done, well, I'm glad I asked him, because you guys get to see outrightly, the people in place who don't feel as enthusiastic about this fight, right? Because sometimes we think because we are, that there aren't people, real power players who aren't standing antithetically to these particular types of fights, right? And sometimes, and I would say a lot of the time, if not all the time, they are the determining factors in fights materializing or dematerializing, so forth, etc. But that we got that moment in real time, right on the champ side, right with Bill asking, and we got the answer, which was a historic moment and an important, imperative moment for all diehards like myself to witness in the front seat of what Bill and DHP are dealing with head on, day to day, from power players, brothers and sisters. There are real people behind the scenes working against their progress, and hence the progress of Black elite movement and mobility in boxing, simply by calling it boring, brothers and sisters. That in and of itself is liable to shoot down the biggest legacy fights that we want to see. Simply them expressing and sharing their opinions holds enough weight to shoot a whole fight down, brothers and sisters. And here is Chris Mannix, one of the most premier voices in boxing media, shooting the fight down. We got to understand how paramount that is, ladies and gentlemen, right? But anyway, in the moment, go check out the champ side if you guys haven't. Go to his channel, to that live if you want to see in detail, okay, what Chris Mannix had posited. Go to the champ side. But anywho, and salute to my good brother champ side. Anywho, in the moment, I was glad that Bill Haney induced that response. He induced, I don't think he induced the response, but he took advantage of the moment to ask so that he can get a raw take directly from Chris Mannix on his thoughts about this fight. I'm glad that Bill took the opportunity to do that, and I'm glad that it was on the champ side, okay? Because champ side's audience is predominantly Black people, us, people of our culture. So that it was important for us, like I said, to see that and witness that response front and center. Okay? We got to see firsthand what the machine is vying for behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. The things spoken about behind closed doors that we got a little glimpse of in Chris Mannix's response, right? And that, what they are vying for, brothers and sisters, is the protection of Shakur E.T. Stevenson. That's what they're vying for, ladies and gentlemen. They want to protect Shakur from Devin. That's the motive. That's the mission, ladies and gentlemen. It is not only the Shook One Stevenson or ADD Davis or blah, 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 okay, that are shaking in their boots. It is the machine, brothers and sisters. When it comes to solidifying this fight, it is also the machine. It is the entire system, the behind-the-scenes system of the mainstream boxing, the corporate suits, the power plays, etc., so forth. It is that system that is in direct competition with Zuffa, brothers and sisters. Let's not forget. Okay? They are afraid, your DAZNs, your Top Ranks, your corporate medias, etc., and so forth, right? The ones that are in competition with Zuffa, they do not want this fight. They fear this fight because what it will mean is that when a king is crowned and it happens to be Devin, they will not be able to control it because Devin is independent, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And he is now tied to a network that is not their own, that is their direct competitor on the market, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not bypass how significant this is. These people are scared to fucking death as well. Not only Shakur, not only Keyshawn as competitors, not only that old slick beard jive turkey, right? But that the networks The major players are also scared to death of the young King Debo. They are scared to death of this fight because they know what will transpire when Devin gets in front of Shakur, brothers and sisters. They know what's going to happen, and they do not want Devin to be crowned king. Period. Period. That is the basis. That is the mission. That is the target. Okay? Let's be frank and let's be quite clear. All right? Now, Mission Guard Dog has been activated, brothers and sisters. That's what I call it, right? Operation Guard Dog has been activated precisely for that reason. The protection squad. Okay, how do we send in the, what they call that in the military? The legion, the ammunition, you know what I'm saying? The people that's going to come in on the, you know what I mean? The grounding tactics, right? We're going to surround the opponent and try to circle him in as best we can so that we can get the target out of there as safely as possible and protect. Get the barricades on, I mean, protect at all costs, this thing, and that thing being Shakur Stevenson. This is precisely why this whole folly of the you know, alleged mandatory, which is actually him being ranked number one, so forth, etc., was put in motion by the slick beard jive turkey, ladies and gentlemen, as we know. That is why the slick beard damn jive turkey ran to get old Kiki ranked at welterweight. Out of nowhere. Man had been ranked number one to Shakur Stevenson for I don't even know how long. Something like a year, ladies and gentlemen. Something like a year. Okay. I don't even know how long. However many months, I don't know how long, but a long goddamn time. Never was called to be a mandatory, right? No impositions, no threats made about him being made into a mandatory. Nothing whatever, ladies and gentlemen. All of a sudden, Kiki gets up to 147, and he is on Instagram crying and screaming and yelling and bucking his eyes, as he loves to do, about being the mandatory to Devin. Had nothing to say at all about Shakur Stevenson when he was number one to him. Right? Interesting. Operation Guard Dog activated, brothers and sisters. I'm hearing that people are now, I don't know if you guys came across this as well, right? That supposedly there are people that may be behind the scenes, you know, pressing the gas, you know, allegedly to get Keyshawn called as the mandatory. Because as I said, you know, he's only number one. He has not been officially mandated as the mandatory by the WBO, right? But that he is number one. He is simply ranked number one. But allegedly there is supposed to be a calling or a deeming of a mandatory at some particular point, not too far off in the future. But of course, we are all awaiting to see that. It has to be deemed nonetheless by the WBO. They have to make that call. Okay, they determine who the mandatory is, so forth, etc. Now, let's be reminded, brothers and sisters, really quickly, that the young king and DHP had already proposed an offer to fight Keyshawn Davis. Okay? Way back when, after the Brian Norman fight, young King was already with the shits. He already stepped to Keyshawn like, what's popping? Let's get it. Mind you, Keyshawn has been on the hit list for a year, brothers and sisters, since last May, as we already discussed last week, so we don't need to get into that. And the brothers and sisters up in here, my good family, already know what time it is. That Keyshawn has been on the hit list in addition to E.T. Stevenson for a year. So ain't nothing new with DHP, okay? So that he was also approached prior to him fighting Jermaine Ortiz, also as we discussed and divulged last week. He didn't have to fight no goddamn Jermaine Ortiz at the start of the year. He could have fought the young king. He swerved the goddamn young king and ran into the arms of Jermaine Ortiz instead. So that DHP is stepping again, saying, yo, y'all on the hit list, I'm not letting up on you fucking suckers. Y'all want to get it popping or not? And in fact, I want both of y'all, let's sign a deal back to back. Back to back, both of you. I want to fight both of you back to back. Are you with it? All you got to do is say yes on some flowetry shit. All you got to do is say yes. This is Debo. Looking for that smoke. Worked up, activated for that smoke. Let's go. Both of y'all asses. All you gotta do is say yes up in here. You know what I mean? These niggas, oh my God. These niggas are such chumps. Oh my goodness, you guys. Like two goddamn, like some simps, brothers and sisters, some marks. They winced at the thought of this proposition, ladies and gentlemen, as we cover leather. I mean, just as fucking puss as you get, brothers and sisters. They winced at it. They shuddered at the thought of this proposition. We saw Keyshawn Davis shaking his goddamn boots on that camera when he was talking to Bill, when Bill was applying that pressure. But I'm not ready. Well, I just had a fight. What about y'all? Don't y'all gotta get ready? Don't y'all gotta get ready? Bill's like, we ready. We ready now. That's why we pressing you. We ready. We can have this fight anytime, right now. You know what I mean? Are you with it? Go call goddamn the Slick Beard Jive Turkey. Go get E.T. Stevenson on the phone. Tell E.T. Stevenson and the Jive Turkey that we with it. Nothing happened. Absolutely shaken in their boots because they're scared to death. Said nothing whatever about the prospect of having the back-to-back fights with the Young King as proposed by DHP. Nothing. Said nothing about it. Okay? But in order to safeguard their beloved golden calf, Shakur Stevenson, here go that old Slick Beard Jive Turkey, making him immediately ranked at number 1, as we have seen. Right? Not convenient at all, brothers and sisters. We know the goddamn play. We know what that play was from the Slick Beard Jive Turkey. He said, oh, let's get the sacrifice put in place, y'all. We about to have ourselves a good old sacrifice. He said, hey, ADD, Kiki, baby, Hunty, boo-boo. All right? You cool and everything, Kiki. But we're going to sell your ass for a motherfucking penny ASAP, okay, in order to protect the best interest of our beloved golden cow, Shakur Stevenson. We got a special errand for you to run because, you know, we run an errand boy service over here. We have other niggas do our bidding. You that nigga this week. The previous week, it was baby boy Ford, right, who tried to, you know, mollywop and wash up and do the cleanup job for Shakur Stevenson when it came to Old Shock, but wound up getting completely washed up his goddamn self. Now we're going to send Kiki, Honey, Boo Boo on a suicide mission as well. You're going to be the sacrificial lamb in this one. We're going to use you to run this good old errand for us, right? Let's see you go ahead and go out there. You know what I mean? You get in front of Debo. Do it for the team, Kiki. You know what I'm saying? Do it for the team. We're cheering for you now. You hear? Now go ahead and go handle that. Go take that bullet real quick. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely used as a shield in this instance. Next thing, you know, we know Keyshawn, here he go, moved up to number 1, so forth, etc. As we know, number 1 in the rankings for that WBO strap that the Young King has at 47. Not convenient, brothers and sisters. Like I said, Mission Guard Dog was activated. Nasty, nasty work. And as we have been made privy to as well, brothers and sisters, by the legendary Trill Bill, right? Because not only was he on champ side, but of course, we always get the scoop from my beautiful king, BFTB, right? Who is in constant touch with Bill and stuff like that, and who allows us into some insight that go on behind the scenes and stuff like that. So that, you know, we have been familiarized with a little bit more of the process because of Bill's transparency, of course, on platforms like Champside and, of course, the beautiful King BF. But that, you know, we know that Zuffa is very alacritous about the making of this fight. Zuffa, okay? Zuffa and the big money suits over there, including Turkey, including, you know, all of their connections and their ties and, you know, everything that encompasses Zuffa. They are interested in this fight, brothers and sisters. They are absolutely and completely gunning for this fight. This is the fight that they want. They are not mincing their words when they say that. The sentiments are not being misconstrued. They want the fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? They want this fight. There's nothing to be, you know, shy about. They're not showing any hesitation or reticence about it. I want it. I want the fight. That's what I want. And they are willing to pay ridiculous sums of money, brothers and sisters. The Young King already signed his $100 million deal. Shakur Stevenson already signed his $15 million per fight deal. So that Do you understand what I'm talking about as far as what is on the table? Okay. They are aware of its importance, brothers and sisters. They are aware of the impact of this fight within the sport, unlike the other people on the other side, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, your DAZNs and your whoever who is trying to talk against this fight, the machine, and all the people that work for the machine talking against this fight. Unlike their asses, Zuffa is with the shits, brothers and sisters. They see the potential, they see the value, and they are willing to invest handsomely in it, right? They are willing to pay beyond top dollar, in other words, brothers and sisters, gargantuan amounts of money, monumental amounts of money in order to concretize this fight and bring the fans and the sport what we have all been salivating over, brothers and sisters. Us diehards have been calling for this fight for going on a decade. That's crazy work, ladies and gentlemen, since we've known of these two beautiful brothers, Core and the Young King. When are they going to fight? One day they're going to fight. One day they're going to fight. And then they finally get into the same division at 35. We're thinking when they're going to fight. Motherfucker dodge, evades, tucks his tail against Undisputed at 35. Then he's talking all this fuckery at 140. And now he's refusing to gain 3 pounds to make the fight at 47. What is going on? So that this constant vicious cycle, you know what I'm saying, chasing of tails, tucking of tails, has been fluctuating and vacillating nonstop, brothers and sisters. It's time to bring that to an end. Let's materialize this fight. These two brothers' names have been intertwined, interlaced, inextricable from each other's since their infamous sparring when they were when Devin was like 16 or however old he was. That's 10 years ago, brothers and sisters. Devin is 27 years old. Shakur is what, 28? You know what I mean? 29, 28, something like that. 10 goddamn years of history with each other as warriors, as competitors. Shakur Stevenson entered into the Young Kings division of 135 back in April of 2023. April of 2023. And that's when he first fought, I want to say Yoshino. That was his entrance officially into the 135 after coming up from 30, right? He had nothing but space and opportunity after his premier fight at 35 to fight Devin. He could have been fought Devin. Devin offered to fight Shakur Stevenson before he even fought Lomachenko, right? He was trying to get Core fight him then. And the motherfucking puss refused. Told Devin, focus on Loma. Right? I remember those tweets. Back and forth. Clear as day. Right? And the King BF also shed light on it to remind folks what time it's been as far as how DHP is stepping. He didn't want no problems with the Young King. Okay? After Young King successfully defended, of course, as we know, his straps against Lomachenko won beautifully. That's my favorite fight of Devin, by the way, is the fight with Loma. You know what I'm saying? Defended Undisputed successfully at the lightweight. Offered Shakur Stevenson the opportunity of a lifetime. You want to fight for this Undisputed? You know what I'm saying? And Shakur outrightly denies each and every attempt made by DHP, brothers and sisters. Okay? And yet this chump is out here denying. Did you guys see his tweet? I don't know if I was able to capture that one, that receipt. But that, there was a point, I want to say last week, or definitely, no, it was within the last week, right? Where he had outrightly denied that he was given an offer by Devin. Even though this man's on record saying that, I got an offer and it was chump change and it was a low ball offer, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, a week ago, he out here talking, I wasn't even offered anything by Devin. Whoever told y'all that is lying. What? That means you lying, nigga. You fucking talked about the offer that you were presented. The low ball offer. How the fuck can an offer be low ball if it wasn't extended to you? If you ain't get shit. You know what I'm saying? Out here capping crazy. Hence the name Shakap. But anywho, outrightly denying that shit. So I guess in his mind, brothers and sisters, real offers don't exist. I guess we got to think about it as far as how he thinks it. Apparently, Shakur Stevenson only validates fake offers. Fake ass publicity stunt offers. You know, like the publicity stunt that he pulled with the Slick Beer Jive Turkey, right? At the infamous party, sending bottle girls over with those bottles and the champagne and the motherfucking fireworks, posturing as if he's telling Devin to sign a contract. I think that's the only valid contracts in his mind are the ones that are contrived and thought up as a publicity stunt. Those are the types of contracts, quote unquote, that he validates, the ones that don't fucking exist, right? But the real offers, oh, no, that don't count. Those ain't real. All the while, this man was sending those bottles to Devin, pump faking and fucking lying his ass off about signing a contract that he never fucking sent. All the while, he is doing that on camera, brothers and sisters. This nigga E.T. Stevenson was actually turning down 3 consecutive offers made to him by DHP to fight for legacy. While he's pump faking with fake bottles, Devin is saying, you want to fight, nigga. This is an offer to you. Flat fee, whatever percentage, and the highest percentage. This is what I'm offering to you. And this nigga Core turned down every single option. Okay? Actual offers. For him to not only fight for his biggest bag up until that particular point, right? But also, and foremost, priceless legacy is what he also turned down when he turned down that undisputed fight at lightweight, brothers and sisters. Here the fuck we are 3 years later. Can you believe this? Here we are 3 years later, ladies and gentlemen, and we are dealing with more charades, more antics from the shook one Stevenson. Can you believe this? We have been suffering through, I don't know how many years of fuckery, right? Definitely the 3 years, and most certainly over the past year, we have been having to sit through all types of lamentations from Shakur Stevenson that persist till this day, ladies and gentlemen. Complaints, citing that he has all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, become the smallest man to ever walk the planet. Oh, I'm too small for Devin. Oh, I'm too tight to carry my own groceries. Somebody help me carry my groceries home because I am so small. This is this nigga. Can't even carry his own goddamn grocery home, apparently, right? Mind you, this is the very man that stretched out his arms, brothers and sisters, stretched out his arms affectionately and cajolingly, extending himself to fight Conor Benn at 154, the same Conor Benn, brothers and sisters, as we already know, right? The same Conor Benn that had fought 2 consecutive fights at 160 against Eubank Jr. Middleweight. That's the man that he was so hurriedly in a rush to go fight, but is too small for Devin. Out of the blue. Okay? Now, regarding the details, according to Bill's recent interview with Champside, if I could just run back to that as well really quickly. The nigga E.T. Stevenson, according to Bill, this was another interesting part of the discussion on Champside, right? In another interview, because Bill hopped on there, I think I want to say twice in the past week, okay? And in this interview, the legendary Trill had shed light on the current situation ever since in the aftermath of Devin, agreeing to the weight of 144. And, basically everything has gone hush from Shakur Stevenson from that point onward, right? So, basically E.T. Stevenson was presented the offer to fight at 147, but of course he was staunch about the 144 catch weight, right? And so that kind of fell through because he was not moving or budging on the 144. He refused to sign that agreement, according to Bill, because his waist is too snatched to fight at 47, right? So they say, okay, you don't want the 144. So what happened was that they made a revision, right? They made a revision to whatever the initial terms were, right? Because he was mandating and insisting that the fight be at the catch weight. So they took the whatever it was, right? And they updated it, they revised it to reflect, that the fight will instead take place at the 144 because, of course, Debo had agreed to the catch weight, right? So they reintroduced it to E.T. Stevenson, okay? And, oh my God. What is crazy work that Bill said, brothers and sisters? What is absolutely insidious and sickening about this revelation that Bill gave, ladies and gentlemen, is that according to Trill, Shakur, oh my God. Let me take a moment, you guys, because this some bullshit here. let me get my wits about me, brothers and sisters, because this man was so staunch about not fighting at 47. He did not want the fight, as we know, crying up and down nonstop, throwing all types of tantrums and hissy fits like a fucking petulant child. So the Devin agrees and says, okay, 144, as we know. Tell me why this nigga, according to Bill, this nigga, goddamn E.T. Stevenson, with all the laments that he had given, is now refusing to sign the updated terms that are reflecting the fucking catch weight, brothers and sisters. He don't want to sign the catch weight agreement. The catch weight that he's fucking stipulated, he don't want to sign for that. So the 144 that he demanded and insisted and persisted on about, he is now refusing to agree, brothers and sisters. Devin agreed. This nigga that stipulated the fucking catch weight don't want to agree. He don't want to sign. This is what Bill said on Champside. Please go watch the video. The King Champside made a separate video of that, so you don't have to like go to his live. Go to his videos. He made a little video of it. I think he just posted it either today or yesterday. Go find that in the interview with Bill. You will hear for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. He does not want to sign for the catch weight that he stipulated the fight be held at 144. This fucking sucker doesn't want to sign for the fight that he I mean, it's just crazy. The fight that he specified, the fight that he covenanted, brothers and sisters, the fight that he demanded be at 144, Shakur does not want to sign for that. So he outrightly denied 147. Now he's outrightly denying the weight that he said oh my gosh. You know, I really do get worked up about this stuff in my head because, it does not make any sense. Like, this fucking level of fucking pussery is crazy to me. I have never seen something more fucking cowardly in my days. What is this? He don't want to even sign for the 144, brothers and sisters. What is this man doing? What is this man doing? Can somebody help me out? Is there a motherfucking doctor in the house? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? He does not want to sign for the 144 weight even. What? Absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible, absolutely astounding, brothers and sisters. You just can't make this stuff up. You cannot make it up. I couldn't write something so cowardly if I tried, brothers and sisters. What? This shit is so outlandishly bizarre, so pervasively fragile and disgraceful. I have no words, brothers and sisters. I'm not even going to cap. I have absolutely no words. What is he doing? What is he doing? You said 144, nigga. You said this. I didn't say this. You said this. Okay? Me and Shakur Stevenson is the biggest fight in boxing. Our fight would be, a big though. That was Core talking to Keyshawn. Me and Shakur is the biggest fight in boxing. You and I are big though. So that the significance is placed on the Shakur fight. And Shakur says, oh, let me guess, I got to come down to your weight class to make this happen. This is before Devin agrees to the 144. And here we are. If I come to 44, we have a fight, right? Here's Shakur. Yes, if you come down to 144, we have a fight. Only for this nigga to not want to sign the agreement. the revised agreement, the revised preliminary terms, whatever it is that they are, right? The basis for which the negotiations can begin or whatever have you. That's specifying the weight that you wanted. You wanted this weight. And now there is a refusal to agree to his own mandated weight, brothers and sisters. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. You cannot be let off the hook for this type of shit. This is crazy. Outlandishly crazy that I have no words. You mean to tell me that this Trump is so puss, so afraid to fight the young king, that even at a weight that he demanded for himself, a weight that he brought to the table, the weight that he conceptualized and deemed relevant and deemed, worthy, the fight that he deemed, efficient enough for him to meet. You can't even meet your own goddamn weight that you stated. Debo-phobia, brothers and sisters. We got to coin that term, because this type of sickness, this type of mental fear, you know what I mean? The state that leaves you so mentally deficient, so incredibly fearful. We got to call this shit Debo-phobia at this point. It's real, ladies and gentlemen. Debo-fucking-phobia. What is this type of cowardly shit that got you shaking in your boots, that your own fucking weight that you made a suggestion for, that you were so adamant about, the man agrees and you still fucking scared? E.T. Stevenson is scared to fucking death. Scared to death. Scared to death, brothers and sisters. Okay? Absolutely bizarre. You cannot make this up. You can't make this up. I think I had another receipt. Hold on. There was another receipt that I wanted to get. I think I got that one. I'm sitting up here like, what is this? What is going on here? How can this be real? Why is it so silent over here? I don't hear nobody lighting his ass up. Not hardly enough. Not hardly enough. Crazy, crazy work, brothers and sisters. Okay? Debo got on Twitter earlier, and it's looking like things have soured, as we know, because we saw all of the excuses. We saw the setup, right? We saw him go from, call me the best. Call me the best. I'm going to be fighter of the year. I'm pound for pound, unquestionably. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you who I am, right? We went from that to blessings, apparently. Okay? Give me your blessings. So that we saw a slow, steady decline in less than 24 hours. We saw a rescinding, a reneging on his stance, brothers and sisters. Okay? A slow decline in momentum in less than 24 hours. Crazy work. We saw a hush over his Twitter page in less than 24 hours as well. We saw a lot of posturing previous to Devin's agreement and to his confirmation of the weight class. We saw a lot of posturing. Once we got that confirmation and once he doubled down and gave that yes, I don't think that he was expecting the young king to make the concession. That's my posit. And that's where the bluff was called by Devin Haney. That's where the boy who cried elite got exposed by an actual elite, because that elite said, okay, I will meet you at 144, nigga. What's up? What's popping? And we heard nothing but radio goddamn silence since. We saw nothing but cowering since. And Bill even called it out. Because 1 minute, Cora's like, oh, yes, I'm with it. Next thing you know, oh, no, I don't think this is, you over here trying to convince people, that I want to fight you, this, that, and the third. And Bill was like, well, 144 got Champ in his feelings, as you can see on your screen. You good? What happened? Why are you talking all this talking now? You said 144. I'm just doubling down and saying, we got to fight. You said 144. What's the problem? Right? Because, your 144 is still considered welterweight. What's the issue? So that there was a slow declining, brothers and sisters. We saw a slow decline in passion from that man. And for what reason? He gave the yes. Why was he rescinding? Why was he rescinding, ladies and gentlemen? Okay? And I saw Shakur say something about Rolly. This is the same thing you pulled with Rolly. He's trying to now accuse Devin of, capping. All the same thing you pulled with Rolly. All these fake public negotiations. Why are you online talking about the fight? Real negotiations happen offline. I'm through with you. We'll see. I'll see you when you get in front of me. Oh, we don't need to be talking publicly about this. All of a sudden now he wants to be hush hush, even though this motherfucker publicly told the world, okay, that he wanted the catch weight of 144, that he would only fight Devin at, if he was at 47, he would have to have the rehydration clause. And if not, he would have to come down to 144. Wasn't Shakur Stevenson talking publicly this whole fucking time? Going on podcast after podcast after motherfucking podcast? What is he talking about? Oh, all these public negotiations. These things supposed to happen offline. So why the fuck you been bopping your goddamn gums all across these damn platforms for all of this time? For the past year. Clout chasing and pump faking. Now that he agrees publicly it's an issue, Devin simply agreed publicly. He said, hey, you said this is what you meant, 144. If I come, we with it, right? Yes. Okay, what's the problem? Devin said, what's popping? All of a sudden now, Devin is making his proclamation that he's with it. He's down to meet you at the 144, whatever have you. And now you got a problem? Because people are talking about it? You made the stipulation publicly. What's the issue with Devin and DHP agreeing publicly? Now you have a problem. So the young king lit his ass up, as you can see on the screen, and he responded to that nonsense. And he says, the truth is, you were offered this fight 2 months ago, and you acted like it was false news. When you sent me some bottles saying, sign the contract, were you offline then? You tell me if the young king is lying in anything that he stated here. Firstly, let's break this down. They were offered the fight 2 months ago. And facts or no, did Shakur Stevenson not tell the whole world that, no, when I think it was Coppinger that had said something on Twitter that had everybody up in a frenzy, right? Even though the beautiful king, BFTB, had already told us what was going on way prior. But anyway, that's besides the point. But the real ones in the building, us in the yard, know what time it was, because BF made us privy to the fact that the negotiations or the talk between them was a reality and in motion way before Coppinger broke the news on Twitter. But anyway, right? Shakur Stevenson was trying to convince the world that it was fake. Oh, no, we're not in negotiations. I'm not talking to anybody. I have not heard from anybody. None of my team have heard from anybody on that side. Coppinger is just friendly with the Haneys. That's why he's lying like that. So forth and so on that we have heard. You remember, brothers and sisters, He was trying to convince the world that it was false, that any talks, any dialogues, any negotiations, or any exchanges or interactions, whatever, between them were not true. That's what he was saying, telling the world, right? All of a sudden, that got blown up and exposed to be untrue, that it was in fact Shakur Stevenson that was lying about the reality of the negotiations being in motion. That's what the case was, is that Cole was capping, because there were absolutely talks going on, which Devin is exposing here, right? And then he also blows his ass up and says, when you would send me those goddamn fake bottles saying sign the contract, were you offline then? Exposing the fact that this nigga is now all of a sudden, oh, why you all public with it? These things happen behind the scenes. You didn't have no trouble, or you weren't considering anything behind the scenes when you were sending him some fake goddamn bottles, right? And you definitely didn't have no worries behind the scenes when you responded and confirmed that if I come down to 44, you would have a fight. But you didn't think I was going to call your goddamn bluff. And now that I did, and I agreed to the 144 weight, and the whole entire boxing community is watching you say yes, knowing that you don't want a motherfucking problem with the young King Devin, all of a sudden it's a problem. Oh, let's go behind the scenes and do this, so forth, etc. Do you see this cowardice, brothers and sisters? All the while, this man has no intention on fighting this man, because they are going to activate Mission Guard Dog. Operation Guard Dog is in motion. And he is fully aware of that. He has no intentions on fighting young King Devin. The whole motion from the Slick Beard Jive Turkey was to motion in front of him, ADD Davis, so that he can protect Shakur Stevenson from Devin. And ADD Davis is absolutely the sacrificial lamb here, because he is being made to jump in front of that bullet that we call Debo. Okay? Interesting, crazy stuff that is at work, brothers and sisters. Crazy, crazy stuff. So Debo got on Twitter earlier today. I think I have it here. Hold on. I think I had one that says Debo today. Hold on, let me get that for you. 1 second, brothers and sisters. That was just earlier today. If you guys are on Twitter, here we go. Here it is. Let me pull that up for the good people. This is Debo today, brothers and sisters. Only a few hours ago. All right? Debo says, Keyshawn. This is Debo. So that's what he wrote on Twitter. And it's looking very much like Shakur has now, at this particular point, completely reneged on the opportunity to make the biggest fight in boxing, brothers and sisters. And that is why we see the eyes of Devin Haney locked and targeting Keyshawn Davis once again. He's calling Keyshawn because E.T. fucking Stevenson, cold turkey, flat out evaded and ducked the smoke, brothers and sisters. That's what it is. Young King simply wrote the name of Keyshawn Davis as if to say, I am back stalking you. You are not going to get off of this fucking hook. Your big brother did for now. You are back in my motherfucking gaze. I got the red dot on your forehead. You know what I mean? That's what it's looking like to me by the tweet on your screen. Now, I will posit this. I'm definitely down with this fight with ADD Davis and the Young King. I have never had a problem with it. It's a fight. As soon as I saw him on the hit list, I'm with it. I step wherever the Young King is stepping. DHP 10 toes. I don't hold him back from nothing. Every bit of smoke that he got for somebody, I fucking got twice that smoke for that person. Okay? I want to see the fight with Keyshawn Davis. I think it'll be a really good fight, entertaining and engaging fight. Okay? So you will never catch me speaking down or speaking against that fight in any way, whatever. Right? It'll certainly entertain. It'll certainly galvanize, as it already has, right? The public's interest. But Mission Guard Dog, let's not be confused, brothers and sisters, is absolutely and most certainly at work. That's the part that we are not going to tiptoe around or act as if it is not in motion. Mission fucking Guard Dog is at work here. We're not going to pretend like it's not. However, great we think this fight is, we know what the fuck time it is. why he was pushed into the number one position, why he was used, thrust in front of this particular bullet. We know what that purpose was serving. The protection of Shakur Stevenson away from that Debo smoke. Operation ET Phone Home is also in motion, brothers and sisters, because that's the type of time that ET Stevenson is on. Operation ET Phone Home is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. He don't want no problems with the young King Devin. No problems whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen. Operation ET Phone Home is absolutely in full swing. Now, my thing is, should this fight materialize with ADD Davis, right? Should this fight with Keyshawn be made? My question is, what is Shakur Stevenson going to do? Because if this is the trajectory, for Devin, if he is on this, incline towards making this fight, okay, that'll, the jive turkey set in place to have the operation, guard dog, set into action. I wonder what Shakur is going to do, right? Because obviously he is also going to have a mandatory call, as the Beautiful King has been keeping us informed about as well, right? Beautiful King BF. He's going to have his mandatory call as well. And we are looking for that. And it should be definitely around the same time that Devin has his mandatory called, which we are, I guess at this point, all anticipating will be Keyshawn Davis, right? But we have to wait to see. But nonetheless, Shakur should have his mandatory called at not too far off from Devin's mandatory calling. What is he going to do? Right? Who is he going to fight? Interesting question about that. Also, what I'm thinking about, ladies and gentlemen, I think most premier in my mind is, as far as questioning, does Shakur Stevenson think that he can slip into obscurity, ladies and gentlemen? What I mean by that is this: does he mean that he can go unscathed? Because let's say if Devin fights Keyshawn Davis and he fights whoever he thinks he's going to fight, does he think he gets a pass to just slip peacefully off into the sunset, and we just gonna forget that he dodged this fucking work with Debo? Does he think that's gonna happen? That's my question. Does he think that's going to happen? That he gets to slide into obscurity away from the red dot on his forehead that Devin Haney got on him? Does he think he can just be safeguarded from the smoke, brothers and sisters? Does he think that the boxing world, us diehards, are going to allow this fight to die off? Is that what he thinks? That he's going to get a pass to just live peacefully and sequestered off and tucked into his little corner, to just be let live and so forth and so on? You know what I mean? Out of the gauge of this work? Does he think that he's going to just walk away scot-free from this Debo smoke, brothers and sisters? Help me out. Is that what's going to happen? Is that what you guys are going to allow to happen as diehards? Is the extended and surrounding boxing community outside of our conscious space is going to allow for that to happen, brothers and sisters? Moreover, will people allot to this coward, Shakur Stevenson? Are they going to allot to him the grace to continue ducking and shamelessly avoiding the biggest fight of his life? Are they going to allow that to happen? To avoid the biggest fight within boxing as a whole, brothers and sisters? Is he just going to be able to saunter off into the sunset away from the biggest fight, the most significant fight in the sport? No accountability brought to him, right? Because let's not forget, people, it took no time for people to assume that Devin was ducking just because he wanted to fight both of them at the same time. You fucking make the math to me. How Devin was accused of ducking for approaching two men at the same time to fight him. He was ducking, but nobody is going to call Shakur Stevenson a duck for blatantly and outrightly backing away from this work. I don't want to hear nothing about no goddamn mandatory, brothers and sisters. Keyshawn out here trying to run game on y'all. The Jive Turkey got him running all types of errands to run game on y'all. And the surrounding idiots who want to uphold that lore are also running game on y'all as far as the media outlets are concerned, independent or otherwise. Shakur Stevenson can easily enforce and use his leverage as the current 140 WBO champion to move up and use his championship status as leverage to challenge the welterweight WBO champion that is young King Debo Haney. Unifications or championship fights, you know what I'm saying, one champion to the next, even if it's not a unification, can trump that mandatory. So that if Keyshawn is called, Shakur as a champion can use his weight to step aside that particular mandatory fight and supersede it. He can completely supersede that because as a champion, he can challenge the other champion and they got to make way for him because he's a champion at 140 with the WBL. Don't tell me nothing about no man. Oh, he has to fight her. Oh, really? He doesn't trump Shakur if Shakur wanted to, utilize his championship leverage, his WBO championship leverage to challenge the welterweight WBO champion. Brothers and sisters, doesn't matter who was the mandatory to Devin. Keyshawn can certainly use that leverage. He is a champion for a reason. Okay? He has privilege as a champion, and he very well knows that. He very well knows that, brothers and sisters. Okay? He used that same weight to fight Teofimo Lopez, brothers and sisters, at 140. Let's not be confused. Are people going to keep throwing dirt? Is another question that I have, and that I will posit once again, because I did already, but I will say it again. Are people going to keep throwing dirt on the most beautiful fight of this era, ladies and gentlemen? Please ask yourselves that seriously. And also resonate on your answer and your response. Talking it down, relegating it to, being something small or partial or marginal is a disservice and a disgrace to boxing, brothers and sisters. Okay? In any way, talking this fight down. Oh, it's boring. Oh, it's not good for fans. Oh, it isn't something worthy. It should only be placed on the back burner. It can sit for a while longer, etc. and so forth. Any type of parlance of the sort, any type of sentiment or otherwise, or anything similar to that is a disservice to boxing. There is weight and significance and stature for this fight, brothers and sisters. Let me get this on your screen as well, because this is an absolute imperative for me to share, ladies and gentlemen, while we are talking about weight of fights, while we are talking about significance of fights, and particularly that of elite Black warriorship. Take a look at your screen. Take a look at your screen, because they want to convince you of this ridiculous assumption that two Black elite fighters have no value in boxing, are boring in boxing, have no weight or stature or credence in boxing. We know that's not true, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at your screen and be reminded of what you come from, brothers and sisters. This is just an example. And we know what this fight meant to boxing and what it still means today, all of these years later. 35 plus years later, brothers and sisters. 38 years later or something like that. What this fight means to us. Don't let these people out here gaslight and move you off your square as a Black boxing supporter. And let's not allow them to think that they can inculcate into our fighters that they are somehow insignificant because they want to fight each other. That we need a counterpart that is not of our culture to get in the ring with in order for the fight to have significance or value. That is not true. It has always been us. Okay? Whoever we fight, we bring that pressure to and we bring that excitement to because we are in the ring. Yes, we can fight anybody. But let's not act as if our culture, two men of our culture, are not box-worthy performances, notable performances, significant performances. Some of the greatest fights that have existed in boxing have been between our warriors facing each other on the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not be confused. Let's not be confused because that mindset in and of itself is a disservice to the sport. I want to play something for you that's very imperative. I found it on my good brother Benji's page, who I follow on Twitter. Okay, I wanted to play this for you because it's taking off of what I just said. And it's absolutely paramount to my argument today. I wonder if I sent it to myself. Give me a second. I think that I did. I don't remember what I named it. Hold on one sec. Okay, this is not it. This is because we have to hear this, brothers and sisters. Hold on. Okay, these are the images. Okay. Let me grab this for my good people. Did I erase it? I don't think I erased it. What did I name this, good people? Hold on. Hold on one second. You have to hear this and you have to see this. Not engaging. Okay, that's the tweet. Where's the video? Okay, hold on. We have to see this, ladies and gentlemen. Give me one sec. Library. Okay, because I may have deleted it on accident. This is a conversation. What I'm pulling up for you, brothers and sisters. Oh, here it is. I did delete it by mistake, I guess. What I'm pulling up for you, brothers and sisters. Let me recover this. I deleted it by mistake. All right. So I got that. Let me send this to myself now. What I'm going to pull up for you, ladies and gentlemen, is a discussion that I had pulled from the King Benji's page on his Twitter. Shout out to Benji, Just Left Arm on YouTube. And it was a discussion taking off of what I was telling you guys about Chris Mannix sharing his sentiments about the fight, and he was trying to talk it down and whatever have you to Champ's side. Okay. And so when I was telling you that he had given a little glimpse into what his thoughts were and that he had later elaborated on those thoughts, what I'm going to play for you is his elaboration on what he was positing on the Champ Sides panel, right? When Bill had asked him his thoughts on the fight. This is imperative for you guys to hear. Let me get this for you. Oh, that's probably why I didn't show up, because I wasn't in the, here we go. Excuse the noise outside, you guys. My city is so loud and so disrespectful. My city is hella disrespectful. They don't give a damn. Firemen don't care. Sirens of all types don't give a damn about what you're doing with your life. They're like, anyway, nigga, let me pass. Let me pass this red light. Anywho, here we go, brother.
And I was walking down the street and I hear this voice from...
Can you guys hear that? I just played a few seconds of it. Put a 9 in the chat if you guys heard that audio playing just then. Let me make sure that we're all good, because you guys need to hear this. You guys need to hear how these people are speaking against the fight already. It's only been days since Devin Haney said yes to the 144. It's only been days, you guys, right? Since we have been all pumped up for this fight, and this is the parlance of the machine, the media machine, the people behind the scenes. They are already creating a language antithetical in nature to the fight's materialization. Okay, I got my 9s in the chat. Here we go, brothers and sisters. Pay attention. Listen to what they are saying about the most significant paramount fight in boxing between the beautiful king, Devin Haney, and the supposed king, alleged king, Shakur Stevenson. Listen to this.
I was in New York, and I was walking down the street, and I hear this voice from half a block away, and it's Bill Haney, who is sitting there at a coffee shop, and he's doing an Instagram live. He's doing a YouTube live with shout out Champside Boxing, doing a YouTube live with those guys. And he drags me onto the live, and he asked me the very same question. He said, is Shakur versus Devin the fight? Is it a big fight? And I said the exact same thing.
Did you really?
I said, no, it's not.
Did
It's not.
Did he let you have it?
It's not the fight. No, look, I think Bill respects multiple opinions. The reason that Bill is pushing so hard for that fight, I think, is because if you're aligning yourself with Zuffa, you're limiting your options to a degree.
Brothers and sisters, did you hear that? I just had to pause because I need to know if you digest that. He is telling you what I told you earlier about his appearance on Champside. What's his name? Asking him what you think about the fight. He says no, but on Champside, he did not say it outrightly like that. Okay? He's like, oh, no, I think it's a big fight, but I think Keyshawn and what's the name is bigger. That fight should marinate a little bit longer, so forth and so on. Right? But here, we get a little bit more adamance from him. Right? He's a little bit more rigid here in his stance. He's saying that this fight is not the fight. This is not it. And he's going to elaborate further. Let me take a little bit back and play again. Hold on.
A coffee shop, and he's doing an Instagram live. He's doing a YouTube live with shout out Champside Boxing, doing a YouTube live with those guys. And he drags me onto the live, and he asked me the very same question. He said, is Shakur versus Devin the fight? Is it a big fight? And I said the exact same thing.
Did you really?
I said, no, it's not.
Did he let you have it?
It's not the fight. No, look, I think Bill respects multiple opinions. The reason that Bill is pushing so hard for that fight, I think, is because if you're aligning yourself with Zuffa, you're limiting your options to a degree. Because Zuffa's made it clear that they're only doing business with Zuffa. They're not doing co-promotion. So Lewis Crocker is not available to Devin Haney to fight.
Brothers and sisters, when did Zuffa's not doing co-promotion so that they are not willing? I know that they had said something like that as far as like, you know, the significance of their belt and things like that and stuff. But didn't what you call it? Regis have a fight with Conor Benn? Regis is not signed to Zuffa, is he? Is Regis signed to Zuffa? Because he certainly had a fight with goddamn Conor Benn, who was definitely had his contract with Zuffa. Right? What are we talking about? Zuffa has absolutely no interest in working with other organizations. Let's continue.
In a unification fight. Keyshawn Davis will not be available to Devin Haney to fight in what I think is a better stylistic matchup. I like Keyshawn against Devin a lot more than I like Keyshawn or against Shakur against Devin. So I understand why they're pushing for that. But I agree with everything you said. Aesthetically, it's a bad fight.
Aesthetically, it's a bad fight. We're going to get in deep into this now, because he's going to elaborate and expound upon these sentiments, brothers and sisters. So not only did he say that this fight is not the one, it's not a big fight. He is now discrediting, brothers and sisters. Stay with me. Discrediting the optics of the fight, the basis of the fight, what the fight will encompass, the heartbeat of the fight, essentially, ladies and gentlemen. He is attacking the heart, the significance of the fight. Whole stylistically, it's bad. Listen to his elaboration on that.
So I understand why they're pushing for that. But I agree with everything you said. Aesthetically, it's a bad fight. It's not a terrible fight for the purist. Like you and I both sat there and called Raymond Murataya versus Andy Cruz. That was a tremendous fight.
Loved it.
It was a similar type of fight, though, because you had two guys that were cagey, high skill level, not a lot of punches thrown, a lot of defense in that fight. It was a high-level fight, but it wasn't the kind of fight that I think the fans are looking for. And when you
Here we go once again, brothers and sisters. That old historical jargon is coming into view. Black fighters are boring. Here we go. Here's the language, ladies and gentlemen. Black fighters are boring, brothers and sisters. He's going about it roundabout, but we're going to get to the point over here because we don't sugarcoat over here. The style is boring. Two elite black fighters, skilled, pure, master boxers. It's not the fight that is fan-friendly. Oh, the purists won't mind it, but I just don't think that the fight fans as a whole will be engaged in this fight. Let's listen to this. Let's take it back and listen forward.
Like you and I both sat there and called Raymond Murataya versus Andy Cruz. That was a tremendous fight.
Loved it.
It was a similar type of fight, though, because you had two guys that were cagey, high skill level, not a lot of punches thrown, a lot of defense in that fight. It was a high-level fight, but it wasn't the kind of fight that I think the fans are looking for. And when you with Shakur and with Devin, they both need dance partners. Shakur needs a William Zepeda to come right at him and make him work.
Shakur needs a William Zepeda, a Mexican, brothers and sisters. He needs a come forward, flat-footed, non-skilled, one-dimensional, myopic Mexican. That's what he needs in front of him. Not skill, not prowess, not mastery. A rock'em sock'em goddamn robot who happens to be of another culture so that we can have this black versus whoever spiel going on. Right? Let's have that in front of us. Listen to this language, ladies and gentlemen. It's not new. And we have spoken about it extensively on this platform, on my platform, about the historical language, the historical mindsets tied to this disposition, brothers and sisters. Listen to what they are telling you. Let's listen.
Just thrown, a lot of defense in that fight. It was a high-level fight, but it wasn't the kind of fight that I think the fans are looking for. And when you with Shakur and with Devin, they both need dance partners. Shakur needs a William Zepeda to come right at him and make him work. Devin needs a Brian Norman to prevent the threat of a potential knockout that's out there. I would argue.
So that they are inculcating into you, into the viewership, into the listeners, so forth, etc. Inculcating into you what you ought to like about boxing. You don't come as a boxing fan with your own understanding, right? With what it is that you want to see and gain from your fighters and see expressed by your fighters. It is wrong of you, in other words, to be looking for things like mastery. You know what I'm saying? Like precision, like calculation, like a devised game plan, precision, sharp intuition, generalship, etc., so forth. No, what you ought to be looking for is a rock'em sock'em knockout real moment. That's what you need to be looking for. Oh, we don't want to see that. Fans, so they can speak for fans now. They speak for us. We don't have our own mind as boxing fans. They need to tell us what we need to be looking for, what is appetizing to us, what is satiating for us as viewers, as people who enjoy and admire and respect the sport. They ought to tell us what is engaging and enticing for us to watch, those who are paying our fucking money to sign up for and support these fighters. That don't matter, but you're going to tell me what is going to satiate me. You can tell me better than I can tell myself because I don't have a mind as a boxing fan. I need good old boy Kellerman and Mannix to tell me what is acceptable to be looking for in a boxing match. Do you understand what's being said? And do you understand that this is only happening? This is only presented to the table when we are talking about two elite warriors going to war. We don't have these round tables when it comes to Zepeda fighting goddamn Pitbull Cruz. We don't have these goddamn conversations when Pitbull Cruz is fighting Rayo or any goddamn body else. Particularly and precisely when the conversation is centering around two elite masters, right? Two credible elite Black athletes. That's when this particular language is brought to the surface. Understand that, brothers and sisters. Let's continue.
Isn't the kind of fight that I think the fans are looking for. And when you with Shakur and with Devin, they both need dance partners. Shakur needs a William Zepeda to come right at him and make him work. Devin needs a Brian Norman to prevent the threat of a potential knockout that's out there. I would argue that if Shakur gets in the ring with Devin, it would set a CompuBox record for fewest punches thrown. And that's not an insult because both of these guys are disciplined, judicious punchers. They're both very difficult to hit, and neither one of them lets their hands go with any kind of regularity. It's just not a fight that makes me sit up and go, I got to make sure I know where I am when that fight happens. I would much rather see Devin figure out a way to get into the ring with Keyshawn Davis, because I think the build-up that fight is great. I think stylistically it's great. I would love to see Shakur figure out.
Here's the protection. Operation Guard Dog in full swing, right? You got to protect Shakur at all costs, even though they are bashing and shitting on Shakur. What they are also doing inadvertently, right, is putting Keyshawn in front of that bullet to serve the objective of Operation Guard Dog. Let him go out there, right? So we're going to speak against this fight, even if we got to tear down the nigga that we're trying to protect. We don't fuck with him, right? But that he's a part of that machine. We'd rather protect him than the field nigga. You know what I mean? In other words, to paint a very powerful picture on that one there, right? Let Keyshawn go out there and do it. This man is talking about a man who is self-proclaimed still a prospect at 27 years old, brothers and sisters. He wants to see not the legacy fight. He is going to talk down about how worthless, how disgraceful, and how boring and worthless, invaluable the legacy fight is. And he is going to talk up instead the fight with the self-proclaimed prospect. I'm only 15-0. I'm only 11-0. I'm only 50-11-0. He's going to talk that fight up and shit completely and absolutely on the fight that stands to be this for the culture. He's going to talk against the fight that stands to be this in our era. That's what he's going to talk about. He's going to talk against that with all the vehemence in the world, ladies and gentlemen. He don't want to see this be made in our time. Insert the faces of the young king and Shakur Stevenson. He doesn't want this fight of this era, right?
Way to fight a Dalton Smith, to fight a Gary Antoine Russell, to fight another title holder. To Shakur figure out a way to fight a Dalton Smith, to fight a Gary Antoine Russell, to fight another title holder at 140 pounds, and then get there. I don't think we're there yet with Shakur.
And then get there. So there he goes with the marination theme. You can get there. Oh, and maybe another 5 years now you're here. Maybe another 10 years now you're here. But ultimately and eventually, maybe he'll get there. But it ain't worth shit now. Do you understand? Let's continue.
That makes me sit up and go, I got to make sure I know where I am when that fight happens. I would much rather see Devin figure out a way to get into the ring with Keyshawn Davis, because I think the build-up that fight is great. I think stylistically it's great. I would love to see Shakur figure out a way.
Keyshawn is the fight build-up that's great. The man that just came onto the goddamn scene, that just turned motherfucking professional, that was an amateur for fucking 11 years, right? Not the man that Devin has had a history with for almost a decade. Synonymous. Name has been synonymous with Shakur's and Tank Davis's for all of this time. He is not the one that will have the fight that is worthy of a build-up and worthy of materialization. No, get Keyshawn in there. Do you see the inanity of this? Absolute subterfuge, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue.
To fight a Dalton Smith, to fight a Gary Antoine Russell, to fight another title holder at 140 pounds, and then get there. I don't think we're there yet with Shakur versus Devin, where it's such a big fight that you can put aside the fact that it's not going to be very good in the ring. The way people around them sell it to me is that the press conference will be great, the buildup will be great, and I agree with all that. I agree it's going to be a great buildup, but when they get in the ring, these guys have shown us who they are. They are high-level, top 10, pound-for-pound boxers. They are not punchers. They are not risk takers. They are boxers. And I don't think that translates to a television-friendly fight in the ring.
Did you just hear that? Take it in, brothers and sisters. Take it in. These are your warriors they are talking about. Whether you are on DHP side, whether you are on E.T. Stevenson's side, does not matter at this point when we are talking about the conversation that is at hand, brothers and sisters. Because at the end of the day, we want to see the best fight the best. I don't care what team you on. The worthy must fight the worthy. Shakur Stevenson, be that what it may, as far as my personal views on him, he is worthy. He is worthy to get up on there and prove himself on the battlefield. Yes, he is. I want to see him in there with the young king. I want to see the young king in there with him. How dare these fucking suckers talk against this goddamn fight, brothers and sisters, the gall of these people. And have the audacity in the process to insult your intelligence, brothers and sisters, as boxing diehards, as people who don't mind the knockout, and as people who absolutely respect the art of boxing as a whole. Whether it comes by knockout or whether it comes by 12 rounds of unrelenting motherfucking punishment. We want to see the best fight the best. They are insulting your intelligence, brothers and sisters. They are trying to push to you a fable about boxing's excitement only being predicated upon a knockout. They are trying to diminish the prowess and beauty of the sport that we love, ladies and gentlemen, as exemplified particularly and specifically by our warriors, elite Black warriors, us who have mastered that knockout and everything else under the sun that we call boxing. And they are trying to deem this fight unworthy because, oh, we may not likely get a knockout. Is that worth sacrificing this for, ladies and gentlemen? This caliber of fight, this caliber of legacy to be attained by our beautiful young warriors, Shakur and Devin, is it worth bypassing this type of legacy being made for those brothers? I don't give a fuck who comes out king. I'm DHP all day and nothing less. But above even that is the best fight in the best, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see a king crowned. The best man will win. I'm not standing in the middle of that. I'm not blockading that. How dare these people, supposed boxing journalists, respected minds in the sport, supposedly, talk in any way against the most beautiful fight being made for us in our era. Because that's what Devin versus Shakur stands to be. Our Sugar Ray versus Hearns type of fight. Our Hearns versus Hagler. Our Duran versus Hearn. So forth, etc. And any other great Black elite king you want to add into this equation. Who have fought his brother on the battlefield and had to, duke it out. Get it out the mud. This is the type of parlance that is highly problematic, brothers and sisters. Highly problematic. There is no way they should be speaking against legacy in any way. It is no problem to say that Keyshawn Davis is a good and viable fight for the young king. He is on the hit list for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. Keyshawn can get it cracking. That is no slight to his skill. Okay? But let's not for a moment act as if Keyshawn Davis is a fucking legacy fight for Devin Haney. He is not. He is passing of the time for Devin Haney. Good fight. I will definitely support the brothers with my dollars, with my vehemence, with talking about it, so forth and so on, because those are two brothers, right? But that is not legacy for DHP. That is a means to bide his time until he gets to the big bro, Shakur Stevenson. Let's not play. Let's not play. We can enjoy that Keyshawn fight with Devin Haney. We can support it. You know what I mean? We can cultivate it. We can curate that fight and provide a safe space for its materialization. But how fucking dare these people tell us to put down the legacy fight that is Devin Haney and Shakur? That shit is disrespectful to me as a boxing fan. How dare these fucking frauds say something like that? And anybody else sympathizing with that degenerate ass mentality. It's false, brothers and sisters. Absolutely false and disrespectful to the sport. To in any way suggest that that fight is not worthy or presents no value to the table. Worthy of being put on the back burner till God knows when. How dare these fucking cowards say that? Crazy, crazy work. I had to present that to my good brothers and sisters. It's imperative for us to know the type of parlance that's being had behind the scenes, the sentiments that are being expressed by people outside of our culture who run this media space, right? There are reflections of the larger mouthpiece, of the larger suits who pull strings behind the scenes, so forth, etc. They have the gall and the audacity to insult the intelligence of the boxing community, who is not simply, aligned around the corner to see simply a knockout, who cares about the art and the sport and all of the facets of boxing, knockouts and everything else included. We don't separate nothing here. We 10 toes with the sport. It's not fucking called knockouts. It's called boxing. You know what I'm saying? Disrespectful. It's not good for fans. Something to be, worthy. You just put this on the back burner. Excuse me. Not on my fucking watch. How dare you or anybody in any way talk against this fight? Keyshawn was already on a hit list. The Young King already said, both of y'all can get it. It don't matter the order. You know what I'm saying? But he is plenty aware of who his biggest fight is, as he already expressed. It's me and Shakur. That's the biggest fight in boxing. But yes, me and Keyshawn is a big fight. It's a big fight and a credible fight. But let's not act like this man is going to win a motherfucking, 3 goddamn gold medals for fighting Keyshawn Davis and defeating Keyshawn Davis the way that he would when he absolutely beheads Shakur Stevenson. That's a whole different type of victory. Completely different type of victory, brothers and sisters. And we know what time it is. Us real ones. I want to know if the boxing world is going to provide an out for Shakur Stevenson to reject via this type of parlance and all these sentiments. Are they allowing for him to reject the call to prove himself as an elite fighter, brothers and sisters? Are they giving Shakur an out to run away from proving himself as a fighter? Because Devin has been trying to this whole fucking time to prove who he is. And he's been doing that. And he will continue to do that. That's why he's calling the name of every top gunner he can get his hands on. And one of the most premier fighters that he's been associated with, as we have already stated, is Shakur Stevenson, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he wants his fucking head on the plate. He wants to decapitate Shakur Stevenson, ladies and gentlemen, because he wants to prove that he is the king of the era. Where is Shakur's vehemence and adamance to do the same? Nowhere to be fucking found, because he's out here on chump puss time. And it's disgusting. This man is certainly being given way too much grace, ladies and gentlemen. We hear the language. I played it for you. Already generating and pumping out reticence into the public realm. They want to inculcate you with reticence, hesitance about the fight. They want you to revoke the fight being made. Oh, well, maybe it isn't that important. Maybe the fight isn't that good. Maybe it would be boring, so forth and so on. They are inculcating you with these ideas. Only days after Devin agreed to 144. Nothing's officiated yet. Nothing is solidified. Only been days. And already there's a talking against it. Already there is a cowering away from the fight from Shakur Stevenson, so forth, etc. Right? Already at work. Crazy, crazy work to me. Okay? So if Devin and Keyshawn fight, brothers and sisters, like I said, an exciting prospect, a fight that I like, and I think that we could all say that we would enjoy and be interested in seeing. But what is that fight's value? If we're going to talk about the biggest legacy fight for this era of boxing, talk against that. What value does Devin and Keyshawn bring if Shakur and Devin is of no value? Do you get me? Are you looking at the metrics that I'm using? If Core and Devin present no value according to this fucking coward and all of the yuppies that's next to him, what the hell value does Keyshawn and Devin have on you know what I'm saying? As far as the larger scheme of things, not simply the entertainment scheme. Doesn't make sense, ladies and gentlemen. Math, not mathing. What's the legacy to be gained here? Outside the passing of time and getting a good bit of entertainment. There is no legacy, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, that's not to shit on the fight. I'm in support of the Keyshawn fight. He can bide his time until Shakur Stevenson finds some fucking balls to stand on. Right? But that's all that it is, a buying of time, ladies and gentlemen. But the time will fucking come where Shakur Stevenson will have to be a man, finally, and get in that ring with Devin. That is an imperative. And every boxing diehard needs to understand that and not allow for any room for him to escape that reality, ladies and gentlemen. This fight must happen. This fight must happen. And as these two beautiful, legendary kings, warriors on your screen, had to prove it to each other who was the best, so does the young king and Shakur Stevenson. These men did not cower away from that. They fought everyone around them and in front of them. And when they met, they had to go to bat just the same way, balls to the goddamn walls. Devin is with it. He's been calling for this. He's been calling for everybody. Where are the other ones at? Where is their heart? It's time to be tested. We got one running to the smoke, running through all types of fire. The next nigga running away from that shit. That can't happen on our watch. These men got to be proven. We got to get king crowned, ladies and gentlemen. And the fight between Devin and Shakur Stevenson stands to deem a king. And until that fight is made, I don't think anything is going to be legitimized in the sport of boxing, because nothing, as I posited earlier, is as weighted in significance as that fight. Right? So I think I'll land there and check in with my good people. I know I didn't like checking with y'all. I had to get this shit off, y'all. Too imperative to leave, to approach it halfway. So I came in heavy, you guys. Excuse me for that. But let me check in with the good family before we wrap this up. Blessings to anybody I may have missed. I know I missed a lot of people, and I cannot scroll all the way up. But let me just engage to see some comments that came in. Let me see. The great Mike, salute to the great Mike. He says, these dudes don't really think Shakur can beat Devin. That's why they already got built-in weight excuses. 1000%. That's what it's been from the beginning, great Mike. Absolutely crazy work. Salute to the King Copper in the building. I see you. He says, yep, that's exactly what he thinks. And smile about it. 1000%. 1000%. Salute to my twin. He says, real talk, if Shakur doesn't fight a big name next, I'm boycotting the fight. Absolutely. I'll say it outrightly. Shakur Stevenson will not get $1 of my money from henceforth. Okay, from here forward until he fights the young King Devin Haney. I'll put that on the table. You know what I mean? When I'm militant with it, I go 10 toes, baby. We're not doing nothing halfway. He will not get a fucking penny from me. I don't give a damn who's in front of him until he fights Devin. That's the fight that I will pay for Shakur Stevenson. Because I know Devin has done and has been doing everything in his ability, everything in his power to get these fights made. His unifications, his everything. These people have been crazy with the ducking, disgusting with the ducking. He's not getting no money in his pocket from me. I don't give a damn who he fights. Until he fights Devin, he will not have my dollars in his pocket. Hell fucking no. I refuse to do that. Shakur Stevenson has been blatantly and disgustingly and abhorrently ducking Devin Haney, and this past week has just been the absolute tipping point of it all. Nasty, nasty work, ladies and gentlemen. Salute to the king. I am Mystic in the building. I see you as well. Okay. Let's see who else is in the building. A lot of thoughts going on in the chat. I love to see the good family talking to each other, engaging with each other. Infinite blessings. Oh, we got the King Eric in the building. Salute to the King Eric. Blessings to you. Right? I'm just in y'all business. I'm seeing y'all replying to each other and giving y'all thoughts. I love the good family talking. Salute to the my comrade. He says, let coach help you out real quick. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to, comrade? My number one comrade. I went a ways up, so I may have missed the joke completely. But blessings to the people. Blessings to the people. I don't think I'm going to be able to read through all of this, you guys. I tried to scroll up. But salute to everybody that came in the building. I'm seeing a lot of people concurring. Blessings. I appreciate that. Let me see what my comrade said. He says, Devin don't need to do anything different than what he has been. It's time for these other fighters to step the fuck up. Absolutely. That's plain and simply what it is. And that's the perfect way to end the show and to stamp, put a period and an exclamation point at the end of the discourse for the night. He has done consistently everything that he has needed to do, extended, made concessions, cowered down, made sacrifices, took shorter money, everything to get to his end goal. There is nothing that this man hasn't proven that he is willing to do, so long as that it is in alignment with his goal for the attainment of legacy and the proving of his stature as the top predator in all of boxing. He has done it, and he is willing still to do it, as we saw only days ago, him making the concession to go down to 44 as stipulated and demanded by Shakur. And Shakur can't even find the fucking heart to stand on his own stipulation and mandate, brothers and sisters. He don't even have heart to meet himself at the weight that he posited. Disgusting. And we have an entire machine backing that. We have people afraid of the rise of Zuffa, afraid of the competition of Zuffa, because Zuffa is offering up such monumental amounts of money, gargantuan amounts of money. They fear that. And so we got the machine, media, corporate, everything, etc., working against it. And now there is a whole propaganda campaign, brothers and sisters, to outrightly dismiss the fight between the young king and Shakur as a whole. You need to understand the severity and paramount of that, ladies and gentlemen, because this is what they are trying to keep away from you. Legacy in motion. Elite Black warriorship in motion. The mobility of that warriorship is also being stifled as well, because they need to constantly tell you that they are boring. Two elite pure boxers together. Two masters. Black American warriors, boring, non-valuable, not fan-friendly. They don't throw punches. Too much footwork's going to happen in the fight. Fans not going to be entertained, etc., and so forth. Not true. Because just as significant as these warriors were in their day is just as significant as the young King Dev and Shakur will be right now. It's of the same importance, brothers and sisters. Yes, I am putting that type of weight on this fight because it is beautiful and it is necessary for boxing. That is my stance. That is my posit, brothers and sisters. I will land there. Okay. Definitely keep the conversation going. Do not be dissuaded from the importance of this fight. Okay. Because you already know what time it is as diehards, right? So salute to the good people. I think I will land there. Infinite blessings to my good family. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. Definitely hit the like button on your way out. definitely consider becoming a member as well. If anybody wants to become a member, as I have been doing things exclusively for my members, right? Got some videos up only for my members, and we'll definitely keep putting out content for the membership exclusively. Peace and blessings to you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's discourse. Have a wonderful, prosperous week ahead. Peace and infinite blessings. I'll catch y'all on the next one.